Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Pick and Roll with the Presley Bros. This is the first live stream that we have done in, I don't know, Dalton. It's been like a month and a half.
Yeah,
Um,
probably something like that.
and there's a couple reasons for that. Number one, Dalton and I could not align our schedules enough to consistently do live streams. But secondly, our live streams were getting terrible numbers. And so we thought, hey, why don't we just do like some shorter clips instead of live streams? And those have also done terrible. So we could have honestly been doing this the whole time. So
Yeah,
um,
my last video, 0 views.
yeah, exactly. So, oh,
So
by the way, Dalton, you might want to stay like to the left a little bit. No, other way, other way. I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah, yeah, stay that way because these conference tournaments are up on the screen, and I know you can't see them on your end, but like they can see it, and obviously I can see it.
yeah,
So look,
okay.
folks, it's March. I mean, we have to start doing live streams now that it's March. This is the best time of the year for college basketball, man. I'm so excited. It's champ week, conference tournaments. Dalton, how you feeling about all this, man?
Hey, March Madness is my favorite time of the year. I know most people they're waiting for September, waiting for October, or maybe even November for the rivalry weekend for football. But March is my year. That's my favorite time of the year. Forget Christmas, forget Thanksgiving. Put me in the middle of March Madness. I'm the happiest guy on earth.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Love March Madness, and the madness is here. Some crazy stuff's already happened. But what we're going to do is we're going to predict pretty much the major conference tournaments. We're not going to be doing, these other conference tournaments that have started and some have already ended actually. We're just going to be doing these major conference tournaments that start tomorrow. Okay, so Dalton, out of these conference tournaments, the ACC, the Big East, the Big 10, the Big 12, the SEC, which conference tournament intrigues you the most? Like, are you most excited to see?
I'm the most excited for the Big 12. I
Yeah.
think that's the best league this year. I think they are so deep. I don't think they're quite as deep as the SEC was last year, but I mean, Arizona State at the 12th seed has beaten Texas Tech and BYU.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they beat some UCF at
You're
the 8th seed has beaten Kansas and Texas Tech as well.
you're stuck on Arizona State, dude.
I mean,
This is the beginning of the season.
I know I was, but Cincinnati beat Iowa State. Cincinnati smashed Kansas at Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, and Cincinnati's the 9 seed, so like the only really the only irrelevant team in this league is, well, I would say there's probably 2 or 3 is Utah, Kansas State, and Colorado.
Yeah.
Those are like the 3 teams that really have done nothing. But like Iowa State, for as good as they've been, is a 5th seed in
Yeah.
Big 12.
Yeah, they have to play. I think they play tomorrow or Wednesday, like first round. So
They play Wednesday.
yeah.
They play
Okay.
Wednesday against the winner of Arizona State versus Baylor.
Okay, so
And
that's the second round. I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm picking Arizona State, baby. Let's go, Sun Devils.
Yeah, they're losing first round. I would probably say Big 12 too, but since you said that, I'm gonna go SEC, and I say SEC because I know Florida has been on a crazy run, going off since they lost that game to Auburn, but past them, it's wide open. Like, I could see Alabama winning it. I could see Arkansas winning it. I could even see Vandy kind of making a run here and winning it. Now, that's going to take a lot for Vandy to do it, I think, but they could. And honestly, I know Florida's been awesome, but like they've shown vulnerability. Their non-conference was not great, and they lost to Auburn and Missouri. That's another
Mhm.
team. Missouri, if they get hot, they're dangerous. They could win it. Georgia, we saw what they could do when they beat Alabama last week. So
I think
I
that's a
think
stretch.
it's I think it's well, here's the thing, Dalton. When March comes around, expect the unexpected. Weird teams win all the
That's
time.
that's
So
true. That's true. But I don't
um
know about that. I don't know about
I
that
think the
weird.
SEC is like Big East, you have like 1 or 2 good teams.
Oh yeah, Big
Now
East is
Big
horrible this
Big
year.
10 is gonna be really intriguing too, but I guess
Yes.
I'm a little biased toward the SEC. All right. So let's get to picking these tournaments. We're going to the ACC first. It begins tomorrow. First game is Stanford versus Pitt. Dalton, let's do it this way. How about you just go through the bracket and you give me your picks if you want to highlight certain games or whatever you can, and then I'll go through my picks.
Okay, I honestly don't know a lot about these teams. I'm going to pick Stanford because they actually have some really high quality wins, and they have this freshman. I'm trying to remember his name. What's his name? He's a beast. Ibuka Okori. He's averaging over 23 points a game, and
The dude's a beast.
he is so good, so good. Not many people are talking about him just because there's so many other players. Oh, by the way, the first when I looked up his name, the first video is him dropping 34 points against Pitt. So I'm taking
Ouch,
Stanford.
Pitt.
I'm taking Ibuka Okora to lead them to a victory. And that's all I really got to say about that one because I just don't know enough about either of these teams to say much else.
Yeah. All right. So Stanford, you got Stanford in that one. And you know what? Let's just do it this way. I'll pick that too. Stanford.
Okay. I
There's
didn't know
no
if you wanted
doubt.
to go all the way through or not.
Yeah. What's that?
I didn't know if you wanted me to go through all the first round or what.
I thought we should do that. And then,
Yeah, we can do that.
but now that you were just talking about it, I'll just say my piece
Sorry.
too. I'm picking Stanford too. Stanford's actually on, I think they're kind of like fringe bubble watch. If they can pick up some wins here, they might be able to sneak in because they do have some like sneaky good wins. Like they beat North Carolina with Caleb Wilson, and that dude is an absolute stud.
Also beat
So
Louisville.
yeah, so I'm picking Stanford too, and we'll move on to the next game. It's SMU versus Syracuse. In that game, I'm going to go SMU, Dalton. SMU to me throughout the season's been a more consistent team, a more trustworthy team. I don't even know what to make of Syracuse, although they beat Tennessee, but like they're just not good. They just faded since Boeheim left. So I got SMU in that game. I think they're just a better overall team. What about you?
I'm taking SMU as well. They actually handled Louisville and North Carolina as well. Beat Louisville by 10,
It's true.
beating North Carolina by 14.
That was like the
And
first
so,
game of that
yeah.
ACC play.
Oh yeah, January 3rd. It was one of the first games, and
Yeah.
and they also beat Texas Tech by 13. I mean, not Texas Tech, Texas A&M. Sorry,
Still,
Texas A&M in December 7th. So I think that SMU is going to handle this team. Syracuse, like you said, they're just bad. I mean,
Yeah.
poor Carmelo Anthony, poor Kyan Anthony.
see ya.
They're just not good, and
Yeah.
I kind of hate it for Syracuse because like what Syracuse used to be and like the history of Syracuse, but I just can't see them winning.
I don't either.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. All right. What about that last matchup, Dalton? Virginia Tech,
Well,
Wake Forest tomorrow.
yeah, let me go ahead and let me go ahead. I was going to mention that one. I am probably going to pick. I'm thinking you're probably going to pick Virginia Tech. That's just my guess. I'm going to take Wake Forest, and my reason is,
Yikes.
even though they're 16 and 15, they have had so many close losses. Let's just mention some of these. 85-84 against Michigan early in the season, then 84-83 the next week to Texas Tech. So they only lost by a combined 3 points to those teams.
Yeah.
And then there's some other close games. They lost 87-84 to North Carolina, 88-80 to Louisville. Now I will say they did lose by 19 to Virginia Tech already. But I'm taking Wake Forest to get the job done and kind of maybe shock Virginia Tech a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna take. Sorry, I knew Haley was gonna try to contact me here. Let's see.
Dude.
I'm taking Virginia Tech. I am. I'm gonna take them. I think they are like they're also in like fringe bubble contention. They took Virginia to the wire. So that's what I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Virginia Tech. I think they're just the better team. So that puts us at Stanford and NC State in the second round. Okay, SMU versus Louisville. Obviously, Florida State and California will play that on that second round on Wednesday. That's already a matchup that's in there. And then I pick Virginia Tech to play Clemson. You pick Wake Forest to play Clemson. So let's start back up at the top. Stanford versus NC State. Who you got, Dalton?
I'm actually going to go Stanford again.
Oh
And
my.
the reason why is just like the same reason I picked Pitt is Ibuka Okori or
Yeah.
whatever his name is. I think he is just. I think we are due. Like every March, you're due for at least a guy or two just to go off,
Yeah.
and he could be the reason
He could be the
that they
one.
make the tournament. And I just see it happening. Like I just see that like that's what's going to happen. They're going to beat Pitt, then they're going to beat NC State, and then they're probably going to lose in the next round after that. But they have a pretty favorable matchup against
Don't say
Virginia.
anything yet. Don't say anything yet. I'll pick
But
that.
yeah, I'll stop right there.
I'm
I'll stop right there.
I'm picking Stanford too, actually. I don't trust NC State.
Hey,
I really don't. I don't know.
also go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just saying, like, Will Wade, not my favorite coach. I feel like he kind of dogged his players a little bit this season. And I don't know. They're just so inconsistent, man. They've been inconsistent up and down all season long. I don't know. They don't have a ton of quality wins. So I'm gonna take Stanford. I do think that freshman dude is going to be the best player on the court, you know. So what are you laughing at?
It's my dog. She's
Uh,
chewing on a chew toy that's squeaking. I don't know if you can hear it or
I
not.
can't I
I need
can't
to.
hear it. A dog's a scrub.
Okay, okay, I need
Okay.
to get it.
So I'm taking
Hey,
Stanford too.
yeah, real quick. I didn't realize this. They just beat NC State on the last regular game of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
They
That's right.
he hit
I forgot
he
about
hit
that.
11 threes.
Now you're getting a call. Come on, man.
Yep, I know. He hit 11 threes to beat NC State 85-84.
Yeah, it's insane. Insane. Um, okay, so we got Stanford beating NC State. All right, so the next game would be SMU versus Louisville. I'm gonna take Louisville in that one. And
Yeah, I'm taking Louisville as well.
okay, I think the difference is Michael Brown Jr. and Ryan Conwell Jr. Those two guys are just dynamic. I think they're getting healthier at the right time. So I'm going to take Louisville to beat SMU and play Miami. So that moves us to the next game, which is already this is the I think it's an 8-9 matchup, so they won't have to play on the first day. But it's Florida State and California. Who you got in that game?
Florida State and Cal. I am going to take Florida State, and they have not had a lot of good games either. But they took early in the season. They took Florida to the wire,
They did.
and I like they've had a really up and down season. I mean, they're 17-14, but they only lost by 2. Now it's third game of the season, but still only lost by 2 to Florida. And they've had some really close calls, and they only lost by 4 to number 6 Duke. And I mean they've gotten killed by some other teams, but I think that Florida State is due for a win. I think that they're on a 3-game winning streak right now, so I'm going to pick Florida State.
I'm picking FSU too, and the reason is I feel like FSU kind of started to figure some things out towards the end of the season, and Cal was like going the opposite direction. Because like Cal was in bubble consideration, but then they just started like losing some bad games here towards the end. So I'm gonna take FSU to beat Cal, and that would be they're gonna play Duke. So
Yeah,
um,
also
good luck.
9-2 in their last 11 games. So
Yeah, like they've started to figure some things out. So I'm taking FSU to
yeah,
advance to play Duke. So that puts you have Wake Forest playing Clemson. I have Virginia Tech playing Clemson, and I am going to pick in this game Virginia Tech versus Clemson. That's mine. I'm going to take. I'm debating because I know Virginia Tech really needs this to even have a shot, but I think I'm going to go Clemson. I just think Clemson's the better team overall, and they've I think showed they can play with top level talent. I know they faded as the season went on. They got killed by Duke, but like they did lose to BYU at the buzzer. They hung with Alabama at Alabama. They had some other solid games. I'm going to pick Clemson to take out Virginia Tech and in their NCAA tournament hopes. So I got Clemson playing North Carolina. So you have Wake
yeah,
Forest and Clemson.
yes, and I'm going to take Clemson as well. They have been reeling as of late. I mean,
Yeah.
they lost 5 of their last 7 games, and so not a good way to end the season. And they did lose to Virginia Tech already by 10, but I think Clemson, they're already in the tournament no matter what, but I think Clemson is just too good and they have too much talent. And like this means a lot to all these players
Yeah.
that they're going to get the job done and win the game.
Yeah. All right. So that puts us in the quarterfinals. Virginia and Stanford, that's what we both have. Miami and Louisville, we both have that. Duke and Florida State, we both have that, correct? Right?
Duke and Florida State, yes.
Yeah, and now we both have North Carolina and Clemson. So we have the same picks
Yep.
right now. So let's go back to the top. Virginia playing Stanford in that quarterfinal round. Who do you have between Virginia and Stanford? Let's pick this up a little bit. We got to move. We're already at.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna take Stanford again. I think that they have a really favorable matchup here. Virginia always kind of struggles in these big moments. You go all the way back to 2018. They're the first team to ever lose to a 16 seed. So I'm taking, now it's not the same coach nor the same team, but I'm taking Stanford to go to the finals.
Semifinals.
Semifinals, yeah. This is quarterfinals, semifinals.
I'm kind of mad you picked that because I'm picking Stanford too. I'm picking Stanford because I really do not trust Virginia. I feel like in the big moments, this is a different team, different program, different coach. This year, though, in the biggest moments, they have choked and they have not looked great in those moments. So, like, you lost your biggest games in ACC play, to UNC and to Duke. Go look, Dalton, at their game, Stanford and Virginia, if you don't mind. I think Virginia handled them, but I just listen.
Let's see.
There's a team every conference tournament week, or March Madness when it starts. There's a team that's like, how is this team doing so good in this tournament and making it so far? I'm going to pick Stanford to be that team. So, and it looks like you are too.
Yeah, I actually am. They ended up losing to Virginia by 15, 70 to 55.
But when was that?
I don't think they played again, and that was
further back, right?
Give me a second. January 23rd.
Okay, so that wasn't that far.
Wait, I'm trying to figure out when. I don't see the date.
How do you not see the date?
January 10th. January 10th. It
wasn't a little bit longer. I think
for
Stanford has gotten some things together too. So I'm going to pick Stanford to beat Virginia. So that moves us to Miami playing Louisville. Okay, and I'm going to take Louisville to beat Miami. And again,
I'm taking Louisville as well.
Okay, I'm just sticking with Ryan Conwell and Mikael Brown Jr. That's who I've got. So, anything you want to add on that?
Hats off. I'm gonna say hats off to the coach at Miami this year. I mean, they're in the tournament. He's done a great job. They were horrible last year. I don't know if y'all remember that. They were awful. And he's turned this team around. I think that if it wasn't for the Miami, Ohio coach, he deserved coach of the year, in my opinion.
He's got to be up there.
Yeah. So, but give me Louisville. The two guys you said, just too good. I'm going to go on to the next one. Obviously, we're going to pick Duke over Florida State. Florida State doesn't have a prayer. I think Duke is going to splatter them. And if we want to go ahead, I'm picking Duke to the championship too.
Okay. So, Duke versus Florida State, I'm picking Duke as well. Like, Florida State's not winning that game, even though they played them close. So that leaves North Carolina and Clemson. I'm actually going to take Clemson. I'm taking Clemson.
Me as well.
Okay. I'm taking Clemson there just because I think North Carolina without Caleb Wilson, I mean, they actually showed some promise without him, but I think
they beat him already without him. But
yeah, I still am going to take Clemson in this. I think they need it more, and I think they can do it. So that leaves us Stanford playing Louisville. We both have that, right? And then Duke playing Clemson. We both have that. I can't believe we both had the same picks here. That's ridiculous. So you've got Duke in the championship over Clemson, and I'm going to pick the same 100%. We saw that game play out, and Duke absolutely destroyed them. So Duke over Clemson in the semifinals to get to the championship. And Dalton, who do you have at the top? It's going to be Louisville playing Stanford.
Part of me wants to pick Stanford because I really do think, like, I had the same idea as you. I really think that team is going to shock the people in this tournament, but I think Louisville is going to get the best of them, and they've had an up and down season a lot because of injuries. Like, I really do think Louisville would have been in the top 4 of the ACC this year if they would have been healthy all season.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to take Louisville to end Stanford's run if it does end up happening, and Louisville to play Duke in the championship. And I just got to, I picked Duke months ago to
Yeah,
win the ACC
gotta stick with
regular
them.
season and to win the tournament. And I'm sticking with it. Duke's
Yeah,
going to win it all. They are just too good. And that's why
they
they're going
are.
to be the number 1 overall seed in March Madness as well.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna stick with Stanford. I'm gonna pick Stanford to go
Hey,
all the way to the championship, and they will solidify themselves in the bracket. They're going to get to the NCAA tournament because they're gonna make it to the championship. I do think they're gonna lose to Duke in the championship. So I'm gonna have Duke playing Stanford, a surprise in the championship game. But Duke is just they're like I just have no words for how consistent and good this team's been. So Duke
yeah,
wins the ACC championship. Let's move on to the Big East now. um, Man, that took us forever. So here's what we'll do this
let's
time.
start speeding it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
let's speed it up a little bit, and I need to move this up out of your head here. So,
Let's get
um,
over it.
no, you're good. You're good. Here's the Big
Okay.
East tournament, folks. What we'll do is Dalton, how about you actually just run through your entire thing, and then I will run
Yeah.
through mine. Okay, and let's
Okay.
just kind of do this one a little bit quicker.
Okay. I'm picking Providence over Butler. I'm picking Xavier over Marquette. I think Marquette. Actually, no, I'm not. I changed that. Marquette is. I'm picking Marquette, even though they're both horrible. I'm picking Marquette.
Good.
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick. Even though I know nothing about Georgetown or DePaul, I'm picking DePaul. I'm gonna go back up to the top. Oh no, I'll pick Creighton versus Seton Hall. I'm gonna pick Seton Hall. I like the coach of Seton Hall, the old coach for St. Peter's. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take. This is gonna be crazy. I'm taking Providence over St. John's to beat the 1 seed. I really am. I'm taking that. They almost beat them. They almost beat them in the regular season. I think it's going to happen. So I'm taking. I'm taking
No,
Providence.
they did beat them.
Oh, they did end up beating them.
Providence did beat them one time.
Oh, then I'm taking. I'm definitely taking Providence. Then I'm not even worried about it. Give me Providence. All right, I'm taking UConn to get revenge on Marquette. I'm taking Villanova to kill DePaul. And then I'm going to go. Now we're in the semifinals. We have Providence versus Seton Hall and UConn versus Villanova. I'm taking UConn to beat Villanova. I think UConn is not that they're on a revenge, but I think they kind of want to prove themselves. And if they win this, they have a really strong chance. Like if let's say Florida loses their first game and they win their tournament, they'll probably get bumped up to a 1 seed over Florida.
Yeah.
So Providence. I'm gonna take Providence over Seton Hall. I'm gonna go Providence versus UConn, and I'm gonna take UConn to win it.
Wow. Providence kind of a surprise team there.
Yeah.
Look, listen, this tournament, we've already said it. This league is absolutely terrible this year.
So bad this year.
Like there's been times in the past where all of these teams, Providence, Butler, Xavier, Marquette, Georgetown, not DePaul, but all of those other teams have had really good seasons in the past.
Oh yeah.
None of those teams had good seasons this year, relative to what you'd expect, right?
Yeah.
So
The fact that Creighton's a 5th seed is
it's
really
bad. It's really bad. They're terrible.
sad.
Okay.
So bad.
So let me run through this. First game is on Wednesday, Providence Butler. I'm going to take Providence too. I think they've showed promise at times.
Oh yeah.
And at other times, you're like, how in the world did this team like compete with UConn or with St. John's? But I'm going to count on them actually doing that here and competing and beating Butler. I'm going to take Marquette also just because of what they showed us against UConn. They're going to beat Xavier in that first round matchup on Wednesday. So Marquette beat Xavier. I'm going to take Georgetown over DePaul. Because Georgetown, I feel like had a couple of close calls with some of the top teams, even like UConn. So that puts me with Providence and St. John's in that quarterfinals on Thursday. I'm going to take St. John's. I like the Zuby Ejiofor and Bryce Hopkins to just kind of take over, and Rick Pitino, like best coach in this tournament. I guess you could say maybe Dan Hurley, but I'm going to take St. John's, Creighton, and Seton Hall. I'm going to take Seton Hall there. They have also been a team that's shown a lot of promise and just couldn't get the job done in some games. So that gives me Marquette versus UConn, right? And I'm going to take UConn to get revenge on Marquette as well. I'm going to take Villanova to beat Georgetown in that quarterfinal round. So that gives me UConn playing Villanova and St. John's playing Seton Hall. I'm going to take St. John's to win. I'm going to take UConn to win. And that gives me St. John's and UConn in the championship. And I'm actually going to take St. John's. And the reason is I just don't trust UConn. Like I don't really trust St. John's either, but UConn has just showed like they just continue to let teams hang around. And I know they just blasted St. John's by 30, but I'm going to take St. John's to even it up. Well, not even it up. They'd already beat them once too to win the Big East championship. All right.
Yeah, I don't think that's a stretch, but
Yeah.
I just think I kind of think St. John's folds a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I see that
last year.
Yeah.
So, but I guess we're moving on to, if I had to guess, we're moving on to the Big Ten.
Big
tournament?
10. Yeah. And this,
Okay.
I'm sorry, folks, this tournament bracket that I got is terrible. But you know what? I think you kind of get where we're going here. So, Dalton, run through it here, and I'll run through mine afterwards.
Man, the battle of the horribles between Maryland and Oregon. They are just both awful, awful, awful. I'm going to take Maryland because it seems like they actually are sort of kind of figuring some things out. I thought Oregon was going to be decent this year, but they're just garbage. And then I'm going to take Penn State to beat Northwestern solely because of the close calls that Penn State has had. So that gives me Maryland versus Iowa. I'm going to take Iowa solely because of Bennett Sturts. I think Bennett Sturts is a beast, and he's going to carry that team. USC versus Washington, man. Just because I hate Chad Baker-Mazara, I'm going to take USC and hope that they do really good, just despite him.
Which he's not on the team.
Yeah, since he's not on the team, just despite him. But Penn State versus Indiana, I'm taking Indiana. Tucker DeVries, the 30-year-old college player.
Great
He's been in college.
He's not 30.
He's not quite 30, but still, he's been in college forever.
He's up there.
I think he came in with Devin Booker a few years ago. So, but give me Indiana to beat Penn State. Rutgers versus Minnesota. Both those teams are bad as well, but Minnesota has upset some teams, and they beat Iowa State. And so I'm taking Minnesota. Now we go to Iowa versus Ohio State. I'm taking Ohio State solely because of the point guard that's been there forever as well. I can't remember his name. Bruce Thornton. He's also been there since Moses was in school. But let's see. What's the team? USC versus Wisconsin. I'm taking Wisconsin. They are the most dangerous team. As you mentioned, I really do think they're the most dangerous team in this bracket. Maybe one of the dangerous teams in the whole March Madness bracket because they lose to terrible teams, but they win against the good teams.
Dude, listen, if they can sneak past their first round game, then watch out for Wisconsin, bro.
Seriously, they're the most dangerous game for them is against Washington.
Seriously,
or USC.
Yeah,
that's the most dangerous game for them. I'm gonna take Purdue to beat Indiana. Purdue really needs this just for their morale. Like their morale's been really bad. Like it has to be really bad because they've lost some bad games. I'm taking UCLA over Minnesota. I'm going to start from the bottom now. I'm going to take Michigan State over UCLA. I'm going to take Nebraska over Purdue because I just love Nebraska. I love the way they play. They got the best. I think they have the best shooter in college basketball in Bryce Sanford, best three-point shooter in Bryce Sanford. The way he releases the ball is so fast. It's so impressive. I'm going to take Wisconsin to beat Illinois. I'm hesitant to do it, but I'm gonna do it because they have a way, as we just said, to beat these really good teams. I think Illinois is way better on paper than Wisconsin, but I'm taking Wisconsin to beat Illinois. I'm gonna take Michigan to beat Ohio State. I'm gonna take Michigan to beat Wisconsin. I think they only played one time this year, so that'll be a nice revenge game for them if they end up playing them. And then I'm going to at the bottom. I'm going to take Nebraska over Michigan State, and I'm going to take Nebraska over Michigan.
Oh my. Dude, you are obsessed with Nebraska. You get fixated on these teams and you cannot let them go.
I am. And it's because I predicted Nebraska to win, so I'm sticking to it as well.
All right, give me your rationale for why you like Nebraska over Michigan.
Okay, here's truly the reason why. They played them close. It was not a beatdown
at Michigan.
At Michigan, it was not a beatdown at all, and not even close to a beatdown. I think they ended up only losing by like 5 or 6 points. And Nebraska, their only issue is their height. But if you can get a Day Mara, I know they have some other big guys, but their biggest issue is a Day Mara. If they can get him in foul trouble, I think they can win this game. And Nebraska shoots the ball at a higher clip than Michigan does.
Yeah.
From the 3-point at least. Like that 1 through 5 can shoot threes. You don't want like some of the guys can make threes on Nebraska, Michigan as well, but like Ademar is not going to step out there, and their other big guy, I can't remember his name. What's his name? The
Morez
guy.
Johnson.
Yeah, he can shoot a little, but like he's not like I would not be worried about him lighting you up from the three. But Rink Mast and all their other guys, they'll give it to you. They'll just pop it, and that's my kind of play style. Just 1 through 5, popping threes, being able to cut, drive, good ball movement, taking care of the ball. I think Nebraska is a really great team, and so I'm sticking with them. Even though Michigan is been one of the best teams in the country, I just think Nebraska is going to shock the world. Let's go Cornhuskers.
Dude, this it's just crazy. These teams at the bottom are so bad. Oregon and Maryland, you can't see that. I cut off Maryland on accident. I think Oregon's going to win that game. Those teams both stink very bad. But Oregon actually played Michigan kind of close too in a game. I'm going to take Oregon for no other reason than I don't know. I think there's no reason. I'm just picking Oregon. All right. Penn State, Northwestern. I'm actually going to take Northwestern in this. How is Penn State the last seeded team? And they almost beat Michigan. It makes no sense. But anyways, Northwestern, I'm taking them. So that leaves me Oregon playing Iowa. I'm going to take Iowa. Bennett Sturts. There's nothing else you need to say. Dude's a stud. In fact, I think Iowa could be a dangerous team in this tournament. USC over Washington. I'm going to take that as well, even without Chad Baker-Mazara. And then I'm going to take Indiana to beat Northwestern simply because Indiana is on the bubble and they need the wins badly, desperately. I'm going to take Minnesota also to beat Rutgers in that final game on the second day. Minnesota's actually had, like you said, some upset wins this year. Rutgers is terrible. Even though they played Michigan State close twice this year. I'm not sure how. But anyways, going from the bottom up, I'm going to take UCLA to beat Minnesota. They need these wins. They're kind of on the bubble as well. I think they're more safely in now, but they're close. Purdue over Indiana. I think that's going to dash Indiana's hopes. I just think Purdue also needs this, like you said, for their morale. They have kind of just, I don't know, man. Like down the stretch, they've just shown so many flaws. I don't love this team, but I'm still going to take them over Indiana because Indiana I don't think is that good. Wisconsin, watch out. I'm telling you, if they could lose this first game and be done, but if they win this game, they could win the tournament. It's so weird. I'm going to take Wisconsin to beat USC comfortably. And then at the top, I'm going to take Iowa to beat Ohio State. And I like Bennett Sturts. I like what I saw. And I liked how they beat Nebraska recently, and they took some other teams to the wire here. I think it was Michigan even.
Did they also beat Purdue recently?
Yeah. So I'm going to take Iowa there. So that leaves me Iowa playing Michigan. I'm going to take Michigan to overwhelm Iowa here and to beat them. Then I'm going to take Illinois to beat Wisconsin. I do like Wisconsin in these big matchups, but I think they beat Illinois at Illinois already this season. And I think Illinois is going to want revenge. I think they're the more talented team, offensively going to overwhelm them. So that gives me Purdue playing Nebraska. And I'm going to take Purdue to beat Nebraska. And that's already happened. Purdue beat them at Nebraska. I know the revenge factor will be there, but I don't know. I think Purdue is going to want it more and need it more for that morale again. So that gives me UCLA playing Michigan State. Michigan State, I'm going to take them. I think, man, down the stretch, they were really consistent, even though they just lost to Michigan. They played really well down the stretch. I'm going to take Michigan State to beat UCLA. So that gives me Michigan State playing Purdue. And I'm going to take Michigan State. We just saw this game. Michigan State beat Purdue at Purdue recently. I know the revenge will try to, be there, the revenge factor. I just like Michigan State better than Purdue. I think they're tougher, more defensively minded. So I'm going to take Michigan State to get to the finals. And I'm going to take Illinois to beat Michigan to get their revenge on Michigan. I like their offense. I really, really like this offense. And I think they're going to come out a little bit better against Michigan this time around, beat Michigan. I'm going to take Illinois to win the tournament.
I hope they did. I hope Illinois does beat Michigan. I can't stand Michigan.
Yeah, Illinois, I'm going to take them over Michigan State. I think their offense is just so good. And they're actually better defensively than I think sometimes we give them credit for. So I'm going to take Illinois to win the Big Ten tournament. I really like Keaton Wagler. I really like, Hummerkaus and Mirkovic and whatever, all those guys,
All the international players that they have.
all the international 90-year-old players they have. So,
Let's
Dalton,
see
I've got
how
9% on my computer left. So,
yeah, we need to move this. We need to move this.
all right. That's the Big Ten. That's going to be a really, really good tournament. Let's go to the Big 12 now, Dalton. Big 12. Go ahead and run through yours, and then I'll run through mine. I think this is a really, really intriguing tournament. So
yeah, this is the like I said in the beginning, this is the best tournament that's out there this year. I'm taking Arizona State. I told them, I said from the beginning that they might be like a sleeper team. They were not, unfortunately. They did show some flashes. They really did show some flashes. But I'm taking Arizona State. Go Sun Devils. Shout out to Jake Armstrong. I think I'm gonna take Cincinnati over Utah. Utah is just abysmal. I mean, they really are. They are so bad. I've watched them play. It is bad.
Yeah, they are really bad.
I watched like just a few minutes of them playing. They are bad. I'm taking BYU over Kansas State. BYU has not been what I thought they would be, which is really unfortunate because I predicted them to win it all. But like Josh Bates says, you can't count them out until the fat lady sings or whatever he says. I'm taking Oklahoma State over Colorado because Oklahoma State has shown some flashes as well to be really talented, and like they've beaten some teams they shouldn't have beat. They actually beat BYU. Starting from the bottom, I'm gonna take TCU over Oklahoma State because they're in the tournament now, and they almost beat Michigan like the second game of the season, and they've also shocked some teams. Like I thought TCU was going to be horrible this year, and they just come out of nowhere. Oh yeah, they beat Florida.
Yeah, but you know who they lost to this year? They lost to New Orleans.
Yikes!
It makes no sense. No sense.
Yeah, I'm still taking TCU over Oklahoma State. I'm gonna take BYU over West Virginia. I'm going to take UCF over Cincinnati because I think UCF is just a little bit better, and I think they have a little more talent. And UCF is like the fact that they're an 8 seed. Like to me, the fact that they're an 8 seed shows you how deep this league is. If you've watched them play, I think BYU is better than UCF. So like I know that they're lower. But you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna take Iowa State. They're just too good. They're just way too good to lose to Arizona State. So starting from the top now, Texas Tech versus Iowa State. I'm gonna take Iowa State here without JT Toppin. I think Iowa State gets it done. I think if they had JT Toppin, I would take Texas Tech, but they've been really good. It's just who's going to guard. Like I'm just like who's going to shut down Joshua Jefferson? Like who's going to have the ability to shut him down?
Well, Texas Tech beat Iowa State at Iowa State 2 weeks ago without JT Toppin.
Yeah, I still think
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I still think Iowa State wins. Arizona State versus UCF. Arizona versus UCF. Arizona, to me, is the best team in the country still. Even though Duke is number one, I think Arizona is better. I think they have a more well-rounded team offensively and defensively. And maybe not defensively, but just overall, I think they're more well-rounded. So I'm taking Arizona to beat UCF. This is gonna be crazy. I'm taking BYU to beat Houston. Another one of those teams that I'm just fixated on. So I'm taking BYU to beat Houston. I'm taking Kansas. I'm taking Kansas to beat TCU. I'm gonna take Kansas to stop my guys from BYU from going to the finals. I'm gonna take Kansas into the finals, playing Arizona, and I'm taking Arizona. It's Arizona. I have Arizona versus Iowa State. I'm taking Arizona. Arizona versus Kansas in the finals. I'm taking Arizona. They're just too good, as I said already. Like they're just too talented to lose. So I'm going with them, and I'm sticking to it. I think, and they're also like, even though I picked BYU to win it all, I'm taking Arizona. Like on most of my brackets, I'm taking Arizona. They're just too good.
Yeah. All right. I'm actually gonna take Baylor to beat Arizona State. They showed some promise in several games. Could never get over the hump really this year, but they stuck with some of the top guys. I'm gonna take Baylor to knock out your Sun Devils. And I'm going to take, Utah is absolute trash. We're going to take Cincinnati. Like they're so bad. Cincinnati has actually won some games here down the stretch. They beat Kansas at Kansas by 16 recently. So like I'm taking Cincinnati for sure. Kansas State's absolutely terrible too. They fired their coach mid-season.
Oh yeah.
So even I don't care if Dabetza wasn't playing, I'm still taking BYU. So
Oh
BYU beating these Kansas State Wildcats. I'm going to take Oklahoma State also. They played really good. I'm going to take them over Colorado. They played really good against Houston on Saturday, and they actually have some solid wins. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State to beat Colorado. So going down from down to the top, I'm taking Oklahoma State to beat TCU actually. Just because TCU is just, I don't trust them either. They're so inconsistent. You lose to New Orleans, you beat Florida, you lose to trash teams you beat. It makes no sense. So I'm just counting on them having a bad game and Oklahoma State beating them. I feel like Oklahoma State beat them, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, look that up. And while I go to the
Yes,
next one, BYU versus West Virginia. I'm taking West Virginia. I'm kidding. I'm gonna take BYU. I'm taking the Mormons
you're crazy for
to
that.
what's that?
I said you're crazy for that. They split this year.
Okay, they split. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking BYU to beat West Virginia. I just think.
Wait, no, I lied. TCU beat them both twice. I looked at it wrong.
Okay. Well, Oklahoma State's going to beat them the third time. So BYU is going to beat West Virginia. Devances too much. That's all you need to know. Cincinnati versus UCF. Oh, dude, that's a really good second round game.
Oh, it is.
I like. Oh man, I'm going to go Cincinnati. And I actually like UCF better as a team, but I think Cincinnati needs it more to have any tournament hopes. So I'm going to take Cincinnati to just barely beat UCF. I'm going to take Iowa State to obliterate whoever, comes out of Baylor and Arizona State. But I think Baylor there, but Iowa State's too good. So Iowa State versus Texas Tech. I'm also going to take Iowa State. I think they're going to get revenge. They lost at home to Texas Tech, but Texas Tech's kind of stumbled here in the last couple games. Without JT Toppin, I think that will come into play here. So that gives me Cincinnati playing Arizona. I'm going to take Arizona. I don't think we need to say much there. Arizona's just too good, and that'll end Cincinnati's hopes. But anyways, BYU versus Houston. Houston, I just think their defense is too much. They beat them. I think they beat them with fully healthy. I think they're going to beat them without Richie Saunders, obviously. So that gives me Oklahoma State and Kansas. I'm going to take Kansas to beat Oklahoma State. I think they're just too good. Darren Peterson will show out. I'm going to take Houston to beat Kansas. I'm going to take Arizona to beat Iowa State. So it gives me Arizona and Houston in the championship. And I'm going to roll with my, not the Wildcats.
Cougars.
I'm going to roll with the Cougars to get it done, get their revenge, and win the Big 12 tournament. I feel like they've stumbled in the Big 12 tournament in the past. But I think they're finally going to get it done. And they may have won last year. I can't remember. But I feel like they choke in the Big 12 tournament. They got obliterated a couple years ago in one of these games in the championship, I think it was. But anyways, I'm going to take Houston. And that now leaves us with the SEC tournament. And Dalton, I got to go get a cord because this is not going to make it. So you start doing the SEC while I go grab this cord.
Where are you at?
What are you talking about?
Percentage, I mean.
4.
Oh, wow. All right, guys. Well, we're moving on to the SEC. First game, which is surprising, is LSU versus Kentucky. And if you don't know this, poor Kentucky fans, this is the first time in Wildcat history that Kentucky is playing on the first day. And I still stand on what I said months ago. Mark Pope is not the answer. He's not going to get it done. You see what John Calipari is doing for Arkansas at the 3 seed. I'm not saying Kentucky would be at the 3 seed, but the grass is not always greener on the other side, Wildcat fans. So I bet most of you regret that. But I'm going to take Kentucky to beat LSU, even though it took a miracle to beat them last time. I'm going to take Kentucky because it seems like they're getting a little bit better, but they're still not good. Like they're to me just barely making the tournament, and I think only because they have a couple good wins. But give me Kentucky to beat LSU.
Kentucky barely in the tournament.
I said to me they're barely in the tournament, but
no,
only because they're
Dalton. No, sir.
I just don't think they're good. That's probably why I'm saying that.